Bryce and I have known each other for many, many years. Went to school at Liverpool High School right up the road from Avicolli is where we are tonight on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool. And of course, we are online with you on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on internet streaming radio on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So we're coming to you, Bryce, and this is following an awesome fight at Turning Stone, another moment at Turning Stone for you, which I'm very happy for. But if you'll let me kind of preface this for a second, you're from Central New York, born and raised. Like we said, Liverpool High School, you've been a warrior. You know what it's like to go through the halls there and be a warrior, and then get into your career. We talk about kind of MMA, different things that you've gone through, and then you decided professional boxing was the way to go.
Yep.
You're 23 years old, but when I think about the resume and the history, it's crazy to see what you've done in such a short amount of time. So before we get started tonight, may I have the people at Avicolli's give Bryce Mills, our hometown hero, some love. Give him a round of applause. Show him love here today. So, Mr. Mills, how are you?
Doing great. It's always a blessing being here talking to you, and excited.
I'm always happy to have you. I know that in the last fight at Turning Stone, before we get started, I know you got some thoughts and some things you want to share, and I want to give you the floor for that.
Yeah, of course. You know, I know there's been a lot of talk from people in Florida and from people who say they've been commissioners, that saying I hit him with an illegal elbow. That was not the case. I know what I hit him with. It was a right hand. It was a clean right hand. To preface this, I've never been a dirty fighter ever in my career. I've had about 65, 70 fights total. I haven't had 1 point taken away from me as a fighter. Not 1 point from any illegal blow. I would never give a Ponce the privilege of being disqualified because they hit him with an illegal shot, an elbow. You know, I wouldn't do that, ever. I have nothing but love for everybody that's been, saying bad things about me, and everybody that has hate in their heart. I wish him the best. I wish Ponce the best. I wish his family the best. And he's a great boxer, and I hope he has an amazing career going forward in the future. But I know what I hit him with, and at the end of the day, no one can tell me anything different. So it is what it is. On to the next fight.
Yeah, and and for you, I mean, does it, when something like that, right, because in the world that you live in, great things happen, right? And you've had a lot of success, but with success comes hate, comes negativity, comes people that don't want to see you do well. How have you handled that in your life, knowing that you kind of have to take both when you're out there, and when you're in the ring, there's two people, so obviously somebody's going to have something to say about somebody.
Yeah. You said it best. You can't have love without hate, right? Can't have one without the other. Those are two of the strongest emotions, two of the strongest feelings out there in the world, and you can't have one without the other. So I'm human, I can't say that hate doesn't affect me or what people say doesn't affect me, but I've learned to deal with it over time, and I've learned that I'm very, very lucky to have friends, family, people who support me, who, like you said, will step up for me and say my name in a positive light if they hear something bad about me and I'm not around. And people who will stick up for me, that makes me feel very good, and I'm super blessed. I'm super, super blessed to have the following that I have and to have the people around me. So what's a little hate at the end of the day, What they say is not going to affect how I act, how I fight, or the person that I am. It's what it is.
Yeah, and you and I were talking before this that, hate becomes a normal thing when you're out there as a public figure. And you got to get used to it, because if you don't have hate, I feel like you're not doing something right, actually. So, for you on the positive side of things, when you look at this last fight, you did it at Turning Stone. And you're here in upstate New York. This is your home. You've been at Turning Stone before.
Yep.
And it was wild for me to walk into Turning Stone and sit down look at the card and see Bryce Mills Liverpool, and then have you walk out and be like, yeah, I know that guy. So you've had a lot of success at Turning Stone. What's it been like to fight at Turning Stone?
There's no feeling in the world like fighting in front of your family, your friends, your loved ones, right? Opposed to fighting in the Garden, which would be amazing. My family would still be there, or the Staples Center, or all these big arenas, nationwide, worldwide. There's nothing like having your loved ones and your support system at your fights.
Yeah.
So no matter where I am in the world, that comes first to me, and that is most important to me. It's not the arena or where I am location-wise, and I fought in some pretty cool locations and arenas, but Turning Stone's the best just because of that reason. My people are coming out to support me, and that's what matters the most.
And you like to play up being from New York.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever forget you coming out when you had that first fight at Turning Stone, and you got a guy from Boston.
Yeah.
So he's got his Celtic stuff on, you got your Yankee stuff on, and you have that little mix of New York State in mind and New York, New York. What's it like to have that representation, to kind of put those pinstripes on things, and to really embrace being from New York?
I grew up a Yankee fan. I grew up in this town, Syracuse, Liverpool. This is just who I am, So I'm gonna rep who I am. I'm gonna rep where I'm from, and I'm gonna be who I am. So me wearing my Yankees jersey, coming out in a Cuse jersey, is just the teams I support. I'm a big Yankee fan. Got a big W today. We're back on the right track. Big Cuse fan, and this is just who I am. I love supporting the people and the teams that I grew up watching.
Yeah, like you said, being a Yankee fan, I got to ask you this about Aaron Judge. So he was hitting 392, had a little dip in the Red Sox series, went down to 378. But I think it's been forever and a day since we've seen anybody get close to hitting 400. Do you think, and you would have to be going against people that voted on our social media, but do you think that we will see a 400 hitter in Aaron Judge this year? Can he get there and stay there?
It's very, very tough to ask, but if there's one person that can do it, I have to say it's Aaron Judge. He's the best hitter in baseball, and if there's one person to do it, it's him. In this day and age, I don't know if we've seen anybody very close to 400. I don't even know if there's been somebody within 20 points of 400. So if he could do that, which I think is still a possibility, it would be amazing, and I think it'd be something for baseball fans to remember, as a historic moment in this game. It'd be crazy.
Being a Yankee fan, coming from the state of New York, you know that there's the stereotype of toughness, resiliency. Bring me into embodying that in what you do as a professional boxer in the super lightweight world, that resilient, no one's going to keep me down. And because when we see fights, that sometimes you got to take punches, you got to take hits, but you keep in it. You got to stay in it. You got to kind of know what hits to take, I guess is what I'm saying. So What can you say about your resiliency and how you kind of embody what it means to be a New Yorker?
To me, toughness, mental toughness, fortitude is everything in life. If you don't have the mental fortitude, the mental strength to do what you do in life, you're not going to be the person, reach your full potential, and be the person that you want to be, or to be the person that you could be. So to me, everything in my life is about reaching my full potential and being the person that God intended me to be. And to me, that takes mental toughness and that takes mental fortitude, and that's something that I pride myself on. Every single training session, every single day, I try to have that mental, strength to keep pushing and to get that extra punch in, to run that extra mile, to work harder than I have before, and to keep continuing to push my limits. Because at the end of the day, when I step in that ring, I may not be the most skilled fighter in the world, I may not be the better fighter in the world in that day, but the one thing I do know is I'm going to have more mental toughness than my opponent on that given night, and that's just because I believe in myself, and I believe in what I do, and I know how I train, and I know how I work.
We talk about all the muscles that you need and being successful in a ring, being physically strong, but that muscle that we don't talk about a lot is that mind. So just what you could say to that effect of it, to go a little bit deeper into you speak about mental fortitude, mental toughness, mental strength, but when did you realize in your career, like, hey, I need to make sure that of every muscle that I have that I can use to my advantage, my mind has to be the strongest one?
I feel like I realized that from the start, and the reason is, I was brought up, raised by two great parents, who taught me what it takes to be successful. And
Yeah.
I remember them telling me from the start. I think I've told this story several times, but I remember being in the car on my way home from T-ball with my dad, and I remember him telling me, no matter what you do it your best, to the best of your ability. Run through first base as hard as you possibly can. Sprint, work your hardest, play your best to the best of your ability, because that's going to be the difference between you and other people. And I've really taken that mentality in everything in life, and starting in T-ball to now, that's been my thought process. If I work harder than you and I give it my all, that's what's going to separate me from the other person. So I may not be the most skilled person in the world, but I know I trust my work ethic and I trust what I do. So.
And you also, the other part of this is you've kept your team strong over the years. You've kept the circle tight. What can you say about who has been within that circle over the years? Because it's something that you and I have talked about a lot, is that you have to know who your people are, and you have to make sure that that circle is strong. So what can you say to that circle?
My circle is the reason I do what I do, right? To not just make others happy, to also make myself happy. But watching my family, my papa with his golden boy hat on over there, and seeing him look forward to all my fights, and my family just gets so excited to see the little kids that I train come out and watch me, and to be a role model to them, just like I had role models growing up. It really, really motivates me to do what I do and to be successful. I'm extremely blessed. Honestly, I don't believe I could have a better circle of people around me than I have. I believe everybody was chosen in my life for a reason, and I can't say enough good things. I'm very lucky.
And you speak on the importance of that circle, and like you said, within that circle, going and giving more of yourself, to take the people that are around you that have helped you and that love you and support you, and then pay it forward to these young kids that you train.
Yeah.
When did you start getting into training the future?
It was something I did, I want to say, around the age of 15, 14 in high school. I started out doing it once I was having a little bit of success in fighting and in the kickboxing, boxing world. And it was something that I realized the second I did it, which started out just as a side job. Wasn't really passionate about it in the beginning, but the second I started and the second I trained my first kid, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Because there's no better feeling. It could be, working at a desk, and there's nothing wrong with that, or doing something else, but being able to impact someone's life and to make a difference.
Yeah.
And make them a better person, not just a better fighter, but a better person, to teach them work ethic and teach them, different facets of life that they'll need to be successful, is to me what's most important. It's just spreading love, spreading positivity, and being a good person.
So, like you said, you want to win, you enjoy it, you have fun with it, but when you see these little kids, when you teach them something, and then a week or two later, you see them in the ring, and then they do exactly what you taught them. They show you that. You see that improvement. What does that do for you?
That's the best moment in the world, because then they're listening, right? The toughest moments is when you get those rounds and they don't do what you said, which I have done to my coach, unfortunately, in the past as well. I get adrenaline kicks in, but it's an amazing feeling seeing them go out and do what you taught them, and to see that smile on their face afterwards, because they did something, it worked, they trusted the process, and it paid off. That's what it's all about,
Yeah. Here with Bryce Mills, professional boxer from Liverpool, New York, and literally down the street from your high school right now at Avicolli's here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool. Bryce, one of the things that I really enjoy of everything that you've done up to this point is a 2-word catchphrase. Don't blink. Bring me into why that became the thing that stuck.
To be honest, I wish there was a good response or, a good answer that sounds really good, but it was just, I liked it. It sounded cool. I thought it was a fast fighter. I thought it was very explosive. And I think people realized in this last fight why that is my motto. Don't blink, and there was nothing behind it. I thought it was a cool catchphrase. My dad kind of liked it. My team liked it. So we went with it. And now I'm starting to show it, so it's paying off.
Do you remember when it happened? Were you like practicing in the ring and you got somebody and you went, "Hey, don't blink"? Like, when did it happen?
I want to say I used it as an Instagram caption to one of my photos way back.
Okay.
And I want to say it was my dad that said, "I like that. That was kind of cool. That don't blink. I like that." And I was like, "Yeah, I like it too." So we decided to put it on the shirt, and people are seeing now why don't blink is a motto.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, anytime there's a knockout, like that just makes me stop in my tracks. And you had a first-round knockout. I mean, it was what 2 minutes and 59 seconds in.
2 minutes 59 seconds.
Just before 3 minutes. Yeah. So bring me into living in that moment. Oh, Grandpa came up with a "Don't Blink" shirt. He had it spun around.
He's got to show it off.
Yeah, now he's showing it off. So, I mean, obviously, Grandpa should get one before I get one, but I have a sweatshirt. I don't have anything that says "Don't Blink."
Yeah.
Do you think we need to trade jerseys?
We may have to do a jersey swap.
And we might have to do a "Don't Blink" and then get you a wake-up call.
That's
thing.
right. That's right. I'm down.
Will you give me a little video training in the wake-up call shirt?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll know. You will rep the "Don't Blink" motto very well after our training session that we're gonna have.
Okay.
You will know how to make someone not blink.
Okay.
How to hope
Fair enough.
that they don't blink.
I'm not going up against you, Bryce. Give me somebody else. Let's do a little tag team thing. We go after somebody in the gym. How about that?
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So don't blink. Like I said, I like it. I appreciate it. First round knockout, 2:59.
What's up? What's going on?
2 minutes and 59 seconds into the fight. I mean, it's got to feel great in that moment. But so few people get to be in a ring, and then the people that are in the ring, fewer than that get to actually have a victory, and then fewer than that have ever had a knockout. So bring me into this last fight in less than 3 minutes, guys on the ground.
Oh, it's an adrenaline rush like no other. I'm an adrenaline junkie. That's one of the reasons I love the sport so much is the feeling you get when you do something and it pays off. The crowd screaming your name, the energy you get when you land that right hand, you see your opponent, down, you did what you had to do, and the crowd screaming. I lost it. It was a moment, one of the best moments of my life, honestly, just to be in front of all my loved ones and at the Turning Stone and to hear them enjoying themselves and to see them liking what they saw and to see that my hard work paid off, because every second of training, every second of the process is worth it once you get that finish and once you get that moment. It's the best.
Does any part of you in all the training that goes into every fight, after you have a knockout in less than 3 minutes, does a part of you kind of go, "Oh man, I trained so hard for this, I gotta want to keep going a little bit longer"?
I was like, after the fight, when I was eating pizza, I was like, I felt like I didn't really earn this pizza. Like I felt like I had to work a little harder for this pizza, But yeah, I can't complain with that result at all.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm just I want to earn the food. I'm an eater. I love to eat.
Yeah.
So I wanted to earn it. I wanted to get my money's worth. Sweat a little bit.
So for you, when you go back and you watch the video, your opponent's down and you just turn around and walk. How quick do you know this is over? Because it looked, going back and watching the video, it looked like. I mean, honestly, it was like a hit and run. It was like bang, and I'm out.
Yeah.
You just turned around like you knew it was over. You didn't even check.
Yeah.
Is that just adrenaline, confidence in the moment, or did you just see something that made you think? Because if you go back and you watch that video, I'm like, oh, Bryce hit him, and Bryce was just ready to go get some pizza. Like you're ready to get in the car.
It was immediate. I just wanted to make sure I didn't mess anything up in the moment. After I knocked him down, I sprinted over to that neutral corner.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him, and the second I really got a good look at him, like trying to get up, I realized it was over. I threw my hands up, and the rest was history. The rest was me just celebrating and enjoying the moment.
Is when you're within just the confines of the ring, are you fully, like you said, mental toughness, mental fortitude, you got to have all that going in, and you obviously have, how are you seeing your opponent? Are you like blacked out? Are you tunnel vision? Are you saying something to yourself? Like what is going through you in those moments, because it's so fast? And I feel like so many people try to kind of commentate what's happening, but how can they really know unless they're physically one of those people in the ring? So what are you seeing? What's going on inside of you when you're in this high-octane situation?
When I enter the ring, I feel that I've already won the fight, and I've beaten my opponent before the fight is actually started. And that is because I believe in the process, and I believe in the training camp leading up to the fight, right? The fight is won in the training camp and the work. The fight is not won in the ring. That is just my time to come out and show off what I have and show out what I've been working so hard for. So to me, the fight's already over, although it hasn't started. And now I'm just going to have fun and execute what I know how to do, and execute why I worked so hard this training camp to show off in front of my loved ones, in front of my people, what I can do.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, when you walk in, you feel like you already got it. You have that confidence. Did that confidence, has that always been, I mean, we met right around when you were 15. So that confidence for you for the last 8 years, has it always been there? Or do you look back and say, hey, I kind of needed to go through some mental adversity to get that confidence?
I don't know if it's always been there. There's definitely moments where I doubt myself. Even today, there's moments where I doubt myself. But I think what solidified my confidence was how hard I work, and knowing that the work drives results, right? So the harder I work, the better the results are going to be. And seeing that pay off time and time again gives me the confidence that I just put in a ton of work in this training camp. I know this is going to pay off. I know it with all my heart that I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to get the job done.
What keeps you hungry? You said you like to eat. So what keeps you hungry in those weeks and months before a fight?
That's difficult. To me, it's just trusting the process and trusting that God has a plan for me, and that my job is to go out and execute and live my life to the fullest and do what I know best and work my hardest and just be the best person that I can possibly be. But it's God's plan, it's not mine. So I'm just going out and I'm being the best person I can be, and whatever happens, happens. I'm just along for the ride and doing the best I can.
How do you stay focused when, because everybody gets up for the fight, right? Everybody wants to see the fight, but they don't see, and we always call it the tip of the iceberg, right? That we don't see most of the iceberg, which is underneath the water. The fight is the tip of the iceberg, but everything underneath is the preparation. How do you stay locked in the preparation when okay, let's say for an example today, it's June 19th. Let's say your next fight is August 15th. So here we are with almost 2 months. When you're in the thick of it and you're a few weeks in and you still got a bunch of weeks to go, how do you stay so locked in to the preparation, to what you need to do, knowing that everybody wants to see the fight, but in order for you to win that fight, you have to stay focused like you're in the ring for however many months, weeks it is until that fight comes?
I just know for a fact that if I was to go out and not work, the results would not be there. I know with all my heart and everything I have that in order to hard work is what has to happen. You need to work for it. I believe growing up, and it's just like second nature to me now. Honestly, I have learned to enjoy the process, even though there's some hard days. I've learned to enjoy them because I know that the harder I push myself, the better the results are going to be. And I got to say, I was telling my family this, I was telling my girlfriend this, I was telling this training camp, I truly believe may have been the hardest training camp of my life. I pushed to levels that I didn't believe I could push myself to. And to see the results pay off just gives me more motivation to push even harder, you know.
Why was this camp arguably the most difficult for you?
That you'd have to ask my coaches and my team. I don't know if they had something against me this training camp, but they tortured me. But it all paid off. You know, it's for good reason. I trust the team I have around me, and I trust that what they tell me and the work that they give me is going to pay off at the end of the day. It was just grueling sessions. I mean, sparring sessions where I'm sparring 10 rounds, 12 rounds straight, and then I'm going out and I'm doing a full hour workout after. That is one of the hardest workouts I've ever done in my life. And then I'm hitting the bag, and then I'm waking up the next day and I'm doing the same thing all over again. It's just a process that is grueling and taxing and very hard mentally at times. But I just trust in God that it's all going to pay off, and this is what He has planned for me, and I'm just doing my best. 'Cause that's all I can control.
You and I talk about this a lot. I don't hide my faith. You don't either. Why is it so important for you to have that faith in God and to not be afraid to speak on it?
That's the reason I'm here. If God didn't do what He did, I wouldn't be here right now. So I feel that I owe it to Him to just be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
Because I believe He created everyone with the purpose of everybody can be. If everybody was the best version of themselves, I think this world would be a utopia. The best place in the world. Clearly, people just make mistakes and life happens, and people don't get to be the best versions of themselves. But I believe everybody has a version of themselves that is unlike they could ever imagine. So it's just being the best person you can and learning from your mistakes and going about your life.
Yeah, you talk about the fact of, having this journey that you've had and everything that you've done, and like you said, trusting in God, trusting in the process. You believe you wouldn't be where you are today without Him. You put the work in. You do the things that you can control. What are the things out of your control that you feel like He's guided you with?
That's a good question. How my opponent fights when he's in the ring, what life presents me, ups and downs. Those are things that I can't control at times. And it's having the mental fortitude, like we talked about, to know that you're going to go through things like that. And that's okay as long as you learn from them and you make a change and you do your best. Tomorrow is a new. You got to attack it, and you got to do what you know what to do and learn from the past and be your best.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're live. Go ahead. You want to get an autograph? Absolutely.
We saw you
Yeah.
I
would love to.
fight on.
Thank you.
This fight did great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And
Yeah,
wearing
of
a
course.
Yankee shirt while you're doing
That's
it.
why. That's why.
I love it.
Yeah,
so
of
we
course.
just got to get it. We got to get a Sharpie for you.
Yeah.
Well,
It's all
grab-
good.
Get one for you. So, these are the moments too that we talk about, right?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be sitting here? We're talking. It's live, and somebody comes up that you don't know and hands you a glove and says, "Hey, I saw the fight. Can you sign this?"
It's awesome. And what he said, his kid was there watching me. So, I hope I got the job done and performed for him. Because that's what matters the most.
First round, it was great.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and I love that it's of all things that he's wearing it's Yankees.
Of course.
That's right.
Of course. Yes,
Now,
sir.
if somebody came up to you wearing a Red Sox shirt,
That would have been different.
fair enough. So I do want to read a quote while we're waiting for a pen here for you. This is one of my favorite quotes, but it has a lot to do with what we've been talking about. So this is one of my favorite quotes of all time, and it's from Rocky. And so you can go ahead and sign it now. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
I'll let you go ahead and sign it.
Could you do to Dominic?
Yes, I will.
How old's your son?
He's 11.
He's 11.
First fight we got to go, so it's definitely
That's
First
great.
fight ever.
Actually, no, it was the second time we went up there.
Second time you went out
Second
there?
time we went up there,
And what's your first name?
My name is Jason.
Jason. Dan,
Jason, nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming
Nice
out,
to
man.
meet you. Appreciate it.
So I'm going to ask you this since you're a Yankee fan.
D-O-M.
Do you think that we'll see a
N-I-C.
400 hitter?
D-O-M-I-N-I-C.
Gotcha.
Do you think the judge will get to 400?
Finish the season with 400 batting average?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the right way to answer it. We hope.
Yeah. So we got the glove right here to Dominic. So Dominic, if you're watching, this is for you from Bryce.
That's for you, man. All you.
Anything you want to say to Dominic, Bryce? You get a chance?
Dominic, keep coming to my fights because the last one was a good result, so I need you at the next one to do the same thing. Appreciate it, man.
thank you guys so
Anyways,
much.
of
Thank
course.
you.
It's our pleasure.
There you go.
Do you want to take a
Appreciate
picture
it.
with him? You want to take a picture? I'll take
I
it.
want to keep it
I'll take it for you. No, it's okay. It's just it's live to the world. They can wait for you. It's Jason, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jason, we're good. Yeah. So I'll take. You want me to take your camera? I got it for you. Yeah. There we go. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to take a few. Awesome. There you go.
You guys.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. And tell Dominic we said have a good night too. Okay?
Yes, please.
So much.
So those are the moments, man. And you know what? We were just talking about God and what we can't control. And of everything that you've endured and been through in the adversity, I believe God just walked through the door today and said, "Hey, man, good job."
100%.
You feel that?
I definitely feel that. There's been a lot of moments recently in my life where, I've seen God appear and I've seen God's purpose and I've seen Him do things that make you believe even more that, He has a plan for you and He's a plan for every single person. It's moments like that and moments that I've had recently in my life that really, really, truly make me, believe.
And that was awesome.
That was cool.
It was a lot, right?
Yeah.
And Dominic, another one of those young kids.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get to train him someday. That'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
So I want to read this quote from Rocky Balboa that has a whole lot to do with your life, my life, things we've been through, things that other people have been through. So let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you down to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you're hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers, saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. How does that fit into your life? I feel that every day.
I mean, as you said, I feel it every single day. Life's going to give you things that you can't control, but the only thing you can do is learn from the things that happen to you and do your best every single day and keep getting up, keep getting through it, and keep trying, no matter how many times you fell, and I have failed a lot in my life. Just keep getting up and keep trying and keep doing your best.
And we look at that record of 19-1, and I call you Lil Bro, so I got to mess with you a little bit here, but in a good way. Do you look at that and you go, man, 20-0, man, come on now? Because the 19-1, wasn't that one, that was a decision, right?
Yeah.
That came down to the,
Yep.
yeah. So bring me into that one, for those who don't know.
I am more grateful for that loss than almost anything in my life because I needed that loss to be the person I am today and to be the fighter that I am today. I would not be here today if it wasn't for that loss. So I believe, like you said, at the time, in the moment, it was terrible. I thought my life was ending. I thought it was the worst thing in the world. And I was depressed. I was going through some things, and I was in a very bad place. But God does things for reasons that we don't know.
Yeah.
And now, seeing where I'm at and seeing everything pay off and just getting back on my horse and, doing my best, now I know why that loss came my way.
Oh, that is an answer that I wish people in their 50s and 60s would say about life. is that you learn from the losses, the adversity. I honestly don't know why people want to go through a perfect life, because adversity lets you know who you are. And without adversity, you're never going to be able to really sculpt yourself. I mean, without adversity, you're just a rock. But with adversity, you get to chisel away and see what that rock looks like. I love that answer, and I appreciate it. I respect that answer, because if everyone could see their losses and the moments of failure when you didn't get what you wanted, if you could take that and spin it into what you just did, we would be winning a lot more in life. If people could see that you have to lose to win.
You do have to lose, and everyone loses in life. No one is perfect. The best boxers in the world, the celebrities in the world, the most successful people in the world, everyone that you may look up to and you may see as successful, they all have lost in their life, and they have all been through things and been through challenges. No one is perfect, and no one is ever going to be perfect. But it's just about doing your best and trying your best to learn from your mistakes and be the best person that you can be. That's all it is.
Well, and speaking about being a good person and doing your best, we got some notes that came in here. So John Masayunas, and John I've gotten to be around him. I respect him. He said, Bryce is a killer, great fighter. Tell him to come fight for us at DKP. Don is waiting. Speaking of Don King.
Oh,
So yeah, that's a little bit of
cool.
Don King
Very
there.
cool.
Jay Russell Pelt said, "Stay true to yourself. Haters always will hate. Ignore them. They're not worth it. People like to root for your failure. They define their own success by your failure."
Russell's the man. Russell's a person that I would not be here today if it wasn't for Russell and all he's done guiding my career and getting me these opportunities that I have today. So, Russell, thank you.
Shout out to Russell. Mike said, "Bryce, who's up next to feel the pain?" That came from him. Jacob, who I know very well, Jacob Mazer, said, "Bryce is my guy. Great dude, great head on his shoulders. He's got a bright, bright future. He works harder than anyone." And I will say this: if you're getting,
That's my guy right there.
but if you're getting those words from Jacob Mazer, I mean, I don't know if there's better hearts out there.
No, he's
So if
just a
he
great
thinks
person.
highly of you, then that's saying something.
No, just a great person. And I realized that from the second I met him. The first time I met him, just a genuine, real person, which is very hard to find.
How'd you meet him?
I met him at the gym, actually,
Okay.
believe it or not,
Okay.
and which is a good place to meet people nowadays. You know, people trying to be the best version of themselves. And
Yeah.
he came up to me. His mom actually was a teacher that I had in elementary school, and he came up to me, said his mom told me who he was, and ever since we've been friends, and I see him all the time working his butt off at the gym, and it's great to have his support.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I met him through interviewing him for the Light Between Us that we do at Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I met him.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, he leaves me with some type of positive. Like, he could say 3 words to me, and he, like, chisels away all the stuff over my heart, all that soot that somebody tried to throw on it. He can chip it away in, like, 1 sentence.
I realize that.
Like,
Super
he'll shake
positive.
my hand, and he'll just go, "Hey, Dan, it's always great to see you. Keep being who you are."
Yeah.
And, like, he'll look at you, and you just know he means that.
I
Just
agree.
by the way he looks at you.
100%.
So
Yeah, you
Jacob,
just
we
tell he's a
love
good
you.
person.
So we're going to talk
We
highly
do.
of you. So before we get into rapid fire, I do have to ask you this: best moment ever in the ring up to this point?
That's a very difficult one. I've had 2 moments that I can think off the top of my head that were the best moments. A moment where, I've had an adrenaline rush like no other, and I was genuinely very, very proud of myself and happy to perform in front of everyone. It was this last fight, which was possibly up there with the loudest I've ever heard an arena while I was fighting. And the moment I had a knockout back in 2019 as a kickboxer with a kick, it was my second professional kickboxing fight. We fought at the, what was it?
What is that?
No, the Embassy Suites by the mall, and that, that was the loudest I've ever heard a packed Embassy Suites I don't know how all those people fit there. Honestly, I don't know like what the fire marshal was doing. It would have been bad if something went wrong.
Sometimes they look away.
Oh, my parents. There's people, some of my fans, banging on the ring as I was just like beating them up, and everybody was going nuts. And it was a really, really cool moment. My entire football team, my varsity football team, got to come out and watch me, and the energy in that place was just electric. And that's a moment that I'll always remember.
And we got, and I appreciate that, we got a message that came in. Does he have any merchandise for sale? Would love to rep a hard-nosed fighter from Cuse.
That's dope. That's dope. I appreciate that. We're working on new shirts and new gear, and the second we do, we'll be posting, and hopefully everybody can rep, and we'll get you that merch soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I get my Dobling shirt first, but we'll take care of it. So, worst moment for you? It could be in or out of the ring. Could be in training, could be in life in general. Like a moment that you really, in the moment, were like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. This is like quicksand, but then you look back and say, this is a beautiful thing. So you gave us your best. What has been the worst that you can actually spin into a positive?
I've had a lot of rough moments in my life. The worst that I think, helped me come where I was today and built me up was, I struggled during COVID. I had a really rough time. I felt like life was on repeat. I do the same thing every single day. I would train. I would eat clean. I was trying to get in the ring, and no one would give me a fight. It was difficult. I was transitioning to a new sport from kickboxing. I didn't know how I was going to do. I wasn't fighting for any big promotions. It was costing us money. It was costing my team money, my family money. It was costing people money. So I was like, what am I even doing? I'm working so hard and nothing's coming of this. And I'm dieting. I'm not doing anything outside. Life was very, very rough. But it all paid off once I had my professional debut and I won that fight. And I got to see my loved ones and I got to see some of my friends say congratulations and say keep going, great job. And, seeing that success after all of the hardships and the stuff that I went through helped motivate me going forward to say this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing and it's going to pay off.
How did that time period, like you said, it's costing my family money, it's costing my team money. You all these people, again, we talk about the circle that were there for you. What did that do to motivate you at that time?
It was all I had at the time. It was the ones that were closest to me, telling me they love me. My parents tell me they love me, and the people supporting me that helped me get through that moment and, help me keep going. Life isn't easy, and people go through things every single day. I know there's, everybody in this world goes through things every single day, that moments that aren't great. But as long as we can get through those moments, and they will end. I know it's tough to see at times because it seems like some bad moments last forever, but those bad times will end, and with every, downfall in life comes a rise, right? With every rise, there's going to be a downfall. Life's up and down, up and down, up and down. As long as you're going in this direction, I feel, and you're not going in that direction, and even if you hit the lowest of lows, just trust in God and trust in who you believe, trust in any loved ones, any positive moments in life, and hold on to that moment to keep going and to, keep being the best person you can be.
Making that decision to move from kickboxing to professional boxing and to essentially change the way that you're fighting, to do that during COVID, was that the plan? Or did it kind of just like, oh, this is what I want to do, and thanks, pandemic, really good timing? I mean, is that kind of how it happened, as you were making a decision in your life and then out of your control, the world said, hey, Bryce, you're going to have to wait before you can do it.
That's exactly how it happened. I can't say that I predicted COVID or thought it was going to come around. I didn't
I think
plan on it.
Netflix predicted it, though. If you watch 8 days before,
Or
we
The
had it
Simpsons.
here.
Or The
oh,
Simpsons.
Yeah. Oh, The Simpsons predict everything, which
Apparently.
is terrifying.
Yep. So, no, obviously I didn't know it was coming around, but, once it did, we were all faced to deal with this, and we all got through it, and I just tried to make the most of it, although I was going through some hard times then, and I took a very, very different way of coming up than most boxers do in this sport. I didn't have a huge amateur career, so I had to start from rock bottom. Like I said, it was costing myself money. It was costing my team money for me to fight as a professional. And it's a very tough thing when you're fighting, you're winning, you're having success, and you're saying, okay, that only cost me this amount. That only cost me that amount. Everybody thinks you turn pro, and it's the high road from here on out. That was not the case for me.
Yeah.
Now we're making progress and we're getting there, but it was not always like this.
Well, Bryce Mills here with us at Avicolli's on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I appreciate the faith. I appreciate talking about God. I appreciate
Always.
the real, and the fact that you and I have been able to have genuine conversations for almost a decade now. By the way, something that your parents, I'm sure, taught you, you look me in the eye every time you talk to me. So few people can do that because so few people are honest. Remember that.
That's true. That's very true.
So let's play some rapid fire. Put your big brother on the hot seat. What do you got for me?
Let's do it. So, I know you went to Italy recently. If you could envision your life going in a different direction, what would your life in Italy look like? Your day in Italy, where you are now at your age, what would it look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be swimming in clear water in the morning. I probably wake up, go for a little hike. Then I'd get in the water. I'd have some, and I had this in Capri. I'd have some octopus pizza, which is so good.
Sounds delicious.
So good. I would walk my dog, do my show. So for those of you that's don't know this, Wake Up Call is 9 to 11 in the morning here in the States. It's 3 to 5 in the afternoon in Italy. So I would have an afternoon show, which would be nice. And then, I would probably get into some things that I used to do as a kid. I'd probably start painting, start drawing again, probably work on my music, some screenwriting. And I probably want to paint and make my movie in Italy. That's probably what I would be doing.
Sounds cool. Little next Picasso. Next Picasso. Who
I will
knows?
not cut my ear off, though. I will not do that.
I
that
know
was
he-
Van
I
Gogh.
know he did that.
That was Van Gogh, not
Okay.
Picasso.
Good.
I think
Picasso
Picasso
then.
was the one that had. Oh, I think they all had a lot of women, but yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I stay away. I stay away from that. So, my question back to you, Bryce. If you took over my show tomorrow morning, and it was Wake Up Call with Bryce Mills, what 3 guests would you have on the show and why?
I'd have my papa. That guy has stories for days. Oh my gosh. I have heard his stories, and they are truly like no other stories I have ever heard, or I believe anyone has ever heard. This man has had a life like none other. So he would most definitely be going on this show.
Okay. I feel like after that, Papa, I need to have you on the show.
He needs to come on this show. Yes, he does.
Let's get Papa on the show. Is it like crazy stuff like, hey, one day I was a limo driver and Frank Sinatra was about? I mean, what are these? The way kind of playing it up here. What happened? Is there one you can share?
I'd like to say it was a very classy life that he lived as hanging with celebrities and driving limos.
Okay.
But it was a little different with him coming up. But it was what he went through and how he made it out and how he is where he is today.
Yeah.
That I think would be very inspiring to a lot of people and cool for people to listen to. It's a very crazy story.
So when your hands are going toward your opponent, in a way, are you fighting for Papa?
Always fighting for Papa. Unless Papa gets in the ring with me and throws some punches too, which honestly I don't put it past him. He was a fighter himself.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah,
All right, Papa. Let's see what he's got. So who's going with Papa on the show?
to go with Papa, we need Nana, of
Yeah.
course, because Papa wouldn't be here without Nana. So Nana has to be very quiet.
So we got to get her out of. How do we get her out of her shell? What topic do you think could make her talk?
Oh man, what topic could make my Nana talk?
Yeah.
Just talk about the family.
Okay.
Let's talk about the family. And Nana is the first one blowing up that family group chat 24/7, texting, on social media, the first person to comment on your post. She's always supporting and always spreading love for her family. She helped myself and all my cousins grow up, and we're all doing pretty good now, and it's all, because of the people we've had, like my Nana, and yeah.
All right, Nana, you got some much deserved love. It sounds like here. So we got Papa and Nana. She just did the heart. Who else is coming on the show? One more.
Now I gotta pick between my mom and my dad, so I can't do that. I can't do my mom and my dad here because I just picked Nana and Papa. We gotta have 5. We gotta have everybody who's here. We gotta have my dad, my mom, and my girlfriend. They all gotta come.
Okay.
But I'm gonna pick a very entertaining guest that I think is just gonna be a wild card. And this is very special requirements if this guest was a person. This guest is my dog,
Okay.
Ajax.
Okay.
Ajax. If you know Ajax, he is the craziest dog known to existence. He has the biggest bug eyes. He loves to hop on 2 legs, like your
Willie,
dog that I
yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
But wow, he is a crazy man. He would be talking nonstop,
Okay.
and he would just be a wild card. Say the most random things at the most random times. Amazing puppy. Love him.
I like that there's a good Ajax because in Deadpool, there's Ajax who's the villain, who he
Yeah.
finds out his name is Francis because he sees the tag from his laundry. Yeah.
He too. He's a little bit of both.
All right. A little bit of a villain. Okay, fair enough. What's your next question for me?
What's your song or your genre right now that's out that you're vibing to or you're playing nonstop on your aux?
Oh man, good question. So it's tough. It would probably be, my music is all over the place, but probably, honestly, LMA. I love R&B, and I just feel like so. And I'm going to tell you why. So as a single man in society who believes in God, has morals and values, and believes in treating a woman like a lady, she actually has songs about treating a man right back. And I feel like in America today, it's like, what can a guy do for me? And then LMA's singing songs like, what can we do for each other? So I respect, she's got a song called One of These, and that's a good see. Your girlfriend.
You just made her day. You just made
So
my
yeah,
girlfriend stay
she
a
knows
little.
one of these. And there's that, and what's the other one? The Little Things. So I would say LMA because I'm going to say this. If there's nobody else out there that believes what LMA believes, then LMA, you and I are going to have to date each other. That's what I'd have to tell her.
Okay, you just shot your shot right there. LMA.
There you go.
LMA, you're tuned in.
Well, and I can tell you that I have no fear. I could walk up to someone who's known all over the world and be like, hey, if it works, right?
I think we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have
Okay.
to find her.
But she definitely, I respect her music, and I love old R&B. So the fact that I can kind of slip her right into everybody else that I respect, it says a lot about her music. So I'll say her. All right, my question back to you, Bryce. We have different songs that we've heard connected to you. If you had to pick one song to be the Bryce Mills song forever in the ring, what song is it? And why?
Man, that's hard. Bryce Mills song forever. I think we have to go with. Honestly, and I haven't used this walkout song
Okay.
just because it's such a good song, and I'm waiting for the right moment to use it. You know. And I'm sorry to disappoint because my dad always tells me I need a walkout song that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know if everyone knows this song, especially the older population, but my day and age, dreams and nightmares, Meek Mill.
Okay.
You know, it just gives you that vibe, that adrenaline rush that is needed going into the biggest fight of your life. And I keep waiting on the right moment to use it, and I genuinely don't know if I ever will, because I'm not sure if it will be the right moment, which is unfortunate.
So Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill. Okay. And it kind of fits because we got Mills using Mills, so we can rock with that. Nothing
Yeah,
wrong
we
with
can
that.
do it. I like
Okay.
it.
All right. So your last question for me of the night.
If you could live a life not as a human, what animal or what creature would you be, and why?
If I could live life not as a human, what animal or creature would I be? Such a good question. I mean, I would obviously be a dog because Lily is my little girl. She's a human being to me. Like she knows me. She knows my heart. She was shaking when she knew I was leaving today for a little while. Like she does not like to be away from her dad, and I don't like being away from her. And it's funny because they're like, "Hey, she's an emotional support animal," and they're like, "Hey, if they ask you for who, they're like, you're her support." But she's very much mine. She has seen me through the last 8+ years. There's been so much in it that's been fantastic. There's been a lot in it that has been scary, and I don't know what life would be without my co-pilot. And I will say this: the way she looks at me and the way she treats me, I always think to myself, I have to earn being the dad that she thinks I am.
Wow.
That's what I would say. So I would be a dog.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And my bite would be so much bigger than my bark. I would tell you that too.
Okay. Respectable.
Yes. My last question for you, Bryce. And I'm gonna have some fun with this because I've asked this before, but you and I have known each other for a while. I haven't asked you this before. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. So you and I are in a comedy. We're in a movie. You are going to give us both a profession. It cannot be what we do now. You cannot be a boxer. I cannot be a broadcaster. So what profession do we have? What city does the movie take place in? And because I don't want to get you in trouble, you could pick my love interest actress, but your love interest will be your girlfriend.
Of course it will.
I love how she was looking down until I said your girlfriend. She goes, "What I missed?"
Oh yeah.
What I missed. So
That's a very difficult question.
yeah.
You know, my girlfriend will be happy to know that I don't know many female celebrities. I don't know the names, so it's tough for me to find your match.
She said lying.
Honestly,
She said lying.
it's very difficult.
Okay.
Girlfriend may have to be LMA at this point. She's a celebrity,
All right.
right?
Yeah.
I think that just has to be the girlfriend.
Okay.
And
All right.
maybe we are in Italy, of course.
Okay.
Of course, we're in Italy, and
What's our profession?
our profession is you are a professional artist like Picasso, because
Okay.
you were painting,
Okay.
and I am a professional art critique. That'd be a great life to me. If
So
I just
you're a
get to look
critic
at
of
paintings,
art?
I
Okay.
wake up every day, and that's my job. And of course, I get paid millions for it, and I have fun just critiquing your art.
So
Yours only.
we meet because you critique my art.
Yes, of course.
So what's the ending of the movie? So you're my critic. So obviously we meet on opposite sides of the rails, essentially. So the little caveat that I've never asked anybody is like, what's the shtick? What's the thing of this movie? So you're my critic. I find out about you. We confront each other, and then what?
I say your art is absolutely horrendous. It's the worst I've ever seen. But the caveat of the movie is somehow we become friends. Somehow, some way. I don't produce the movie. I don't direct it, but somehow it happens.
And at the end of the movie, we're friends, the most unlikely of friends.
Yes.
And as we're like on a boat in some water in Italy, and we're like out in Capri on the boat, and someone's driving for us, and we're sitting back and we got sunglasses on. It's beautiful outside, and I look at you and I go, "So do you like my art now?" And you say, "No."
Yeah,
That's how it ends.
I was going to say the same thing. No.
You go, "No," and that's how it ends.
Yes.
It's kind of like Bad Boys because we would be ragging on each other the whole
Just
time.
artists. Yeah.
Yeah. But
like it.
I, unlike Will Smith, would never slap someone like a. Well, I'm not going to say what it was.
Ah.
I'm not going to say what that was.
That's right.
But I would not do that.
That's right.
So I would have to be Martin Lawrence. And you
Martin
would have
Lawrence
to pick
is one of
somebody
my favorite
else.
actors too. Martin Lawrence is the man.
Yeah. How do you
Like
like
it.
that? You hate my art and it ends with our friendship, but you still hating my art. That's okay.
Sounds good.
That's all right. I can live with that.
Sounds very good.
Because what did we say at the beginning of the show? If you have haters, you're doing something right. So
That's right.
thank you, Bryce, for
Full
hating.
circle.
Yeah, thank you, Bryce, for hating my art so that I can know
Thank you.
that I've made it somewhere. With that being said, the fighter that you all need to go
Appreciate
see, Mr. Mills.
My man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you for
very
having me.
much. Of course, myself, Dan Tortora, here on Wake Up Call at Avicolli's. One more time, show him some love. Mr. Mills, Bryce Mills, y'all have a good night. Thank you, Avicolli's. We'll talk with you soon.